Windy City Theatre Lodge. It is January 1st. This year, I want to make sure that every year I'm celebrated New Year's Eve with my friends. Yes, I did have a drink. I responsibly said, you know what, I'm going to stay overnight. So I stayed with my friends this evening, and it is 6:45 in the morning, 6:50 in the morning here in Chicago, and let's come with me on my travels home. So, sorry, you might have lost me a bit there. We are in the East Lakeshore area of Chicago. I might post this on both channels, but howdy, Miss McCourt. Just, it's a beautiful day, quiet, it's silent. So one of the most lovely things about Chicago is if you're here in the morning in Chicago, nobody is bothering you. So we're gonna head over to the train station, and I'm gonna head back north. We'll take the Blue Line. I think you guys will struggle to be able to see me the rest of the morning. We'll be underground quite a bit, so I don't know how well we'll actually see stuff. But hey, it's 2025. I celebrated my friends last night. We had a great evening. We had a lovely dinner. After dinner, we went back to one of my friends' homes. We're here in Lakeshore East. He's got a high rise. You probably would have seen on one of my posts the pictures of the Chicago River being lit up by fireworks. But here we are. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm just hand holding my phone in front of me. We are going to walk over to the train station, and train station, when I say train station, CTA, so the elevated tracks, which we will get on the subway. And I think on the subway, it's going to be tough for you guys to see me. We'll go from the subway up north to my home. Howdy, Hitzel. Excuse me all. I had to get rid of some saliva. So one of the things, let me kind of turn around here for a second. So what you're seeing here is basically, is this Lake Street or is this Water Street? Chicago is just amazing. I'm going to miss Chicago so much. Many of you know that I'm going to be moving away from here. Hopefully you can hear me right now. My partner got a job in another locale. My company allows me to do my consulting basically from anywhere I want to. So I need a chip in a chair or a seat and internet and proximity to an airport. So I'll be able to work from there. It won't be in Chicago. I'm going to miss Chicago a lot. I really am going to miss Chicago. But for my partner, I think it's a lovely opportunity for them. And I'm happy that they have that opportunity. I'll just be able to work from there. Now, one of the things you'll see is I'm going to become a traveling protester. In where we're going, there won't be any Scientology organizations, but I will do whatever I can to head over to, I will say that I will be a few hours away from, Aaron, Cheryl, growing up near Scientology, George. Lori plays. So hopefully we'll have we'll be able to challenge Scientology at that point. I'm going to miss this big urban area. Folks, I'm trying to watch the chat. I will say that I'm walking. It's awesome. It's like 6:30 in the morning. One of the things that I love about Chicago is you just get up and walk or run. You know, many of you know that I'm a runner. I'll get up. I will run in the morning. But right now I'm walking over to the train station. Hopefully you're seeing that, hey, look, I'm dressed up with a nice fuzzy cap on top. Howdy DJ Better. Hitzel, you know, I'm a big fan. I love the idea that, Pearl and Selfless ran into challenges down there, and you immediately picked up the banner and said, you know what, I'm going to make it hard for Scientology in Austin. So thank you so much. Edward, bang on. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can turn around for a second. It's such a beautiful morning here. So we're looking basically down the Chicago River. We're on Lake Street, Wabash. This might be Water Street. So Water Street, and if you look behind me, you're looking at the Chicago River. Once we get up there, I will turn the phone around so that you can see this. You know, I really love Chicago. I am so gonna miss Chicago. Boy, TJ Viator. Oh boy, that's a troubling one to me. But Happy New Year's to you as well. So here we are in 2025, and I'm going to say that, hey, F Sciento. For Hitzel, the idea that when Pearl Snappy came across the Scientology opening down there in Austin, and they had the sign kind of halfway ripped, and it was F Sciento, and that became the mantra, right? And I am one of those people that says F Sciento. So, folks, we're going to walk across Wacker Drive here. So behind me is a building that many people confuse with Scientology. So that is the Church, First Christ of Science Church. Behind me is I think it's a Seventh-day Adventist, but it might be Christ Scientist. It is such a beautiful morning here in Chicago. DJ, I'm headed home. I celebrated friends last night. I was responsible. I said, you know what? I'm going to stay here tonight. I slept there, woke up, and we're heading home. So, Xenu Free, yes. I will be leaving Chicago. I'll be somewhere in FLA. I won't be quite... I won't be in Clearwater. But I will tell you that I will do whatever I can to challenge Scientology and their misbeliefs. And Hitzel, you're right. F Sciento forever. Let me turn around here. So this is the Corn Cob Tower. These are residences here in Chicago. We're right here along the Chicago River. DJ, I'll be probably leaving for permanency, but I have so many friends. My entire life started here in Chicago, or within. I've always lived within 35 miles of where I am right now. So I'm in Chicago right now. I've always lived within 30 miles 35 miles of here. I'll be back here, both for business reasons and because of some of the relationships I have here. I'll come back here to Chicago, and we're going to go visit Howdy Mama Opal. Thank you so much for coming in here. Happy New Year's to everybody. You know what? I am so going to miss Chicago. If you see in my background, you're looking down the Chicago River. We're seeing Lady E. Great to see you. Hey, South Africa. Buy a donkey for all you coming in. And Happy New Year's to all of you. Right. Listen, last night I did a live, and hopefully you all got out of it that, hey, Scientology's Ideal Org has been open for 10 months here, and myself and the other protesters, we've done whatever we could to stop them from actually recruiting new members. And I feel it was in October-ish. Aaron, and if you watch my channel, you know Aaron. Aaron had mentioned that he has contacts inside of most of these organizations, and the idea that Chicago has no new Scientology starts. And I want to say, hey, thank you to, hopefully we'll get, maybe Mama Opal will be able to help us out here. But there have been so many Chicago protesters, right? We've got, Shannon was early on. Shannon started just before I did. Trashy V12 was there. My first day actually being out there protesting or demonstrating was with Shannon, Korn, Trashy V12, Trashy BMW V12, or Trashy V12 BMW. Excuse me. And I was so awkward those days. I remember Shannon trying to push me to go into the organization, and I just didn't want to do that, right? Hopefully you've seen by now that my style is, I just want to help educate these people and help them understand what they're in for in this regard. So I'm not a yeller, I'm not a shouter. In those early days, and I think those were static videos that I had to post later on, but I was awkward in those days. Lady E, you're wrong. I'm not breaking up with you. I am going to help you guys understand Scientology from a different location. I'm disappointed, I'm sad that I won't be kind of the guy here in Chicago that is stopping Scientology. But when I left for South Africa this past month, I was so happy that, we saw Heligear out there every day, or very frequently. We saw Corn Freak out here so frequently. We saw Dip Me in Glitter out here so frequently. We saw Juanita, right? And Juanita, boy, folks, if you don't understand, Juanita's passion is F-U Scientology. Now, for many of us who are English speakers, right, it's tough to listen to Juanita, but she and Nance Drew, they're able to speak Spanish. So when people who are Spanish speakers come here to Scientology, they can stop them on a dime. They can communicate with them, and I'm so happy that they're doing that. When I was preparing for my South Africa trip, it felt like every week there was somebody here in trying to protest Scientology, and kudos to Juanita, Heligear, Corn Freak, Never in Nana. Um, I will tell you that, you know, Never in Nana is amazing. She tries to stay under the radar. She's not. She doesn't want to be vocal. She just wants to be forward. Um, I'll say maybe she's shyer than many of us, but whenever I was here protesting, and if she thought I was in trouble, she immediately came downtown. So, sort of like how I was here when, when Hot Dog Guy came and tried to create problems for Nance Drew, and when Red Shoe Guy tried to create problems for Nance Drew, I came down here. Never in Nana was that for me. And I'm just, it was amazing that, Never in Nana was somebody who just always came down. She didn't need to have accolades. She just wanted to help. And it was one of those things that I've always felt is amazing. Oh, sorry, I'm just looking at the camera and realized that, yes, I have a wool cap on top. Folks, you're going to walk with me for a while. So I'm about 3 miles from home. It'll probably take us 45 minutes to get there. Howdy, T. Folks, if you're not, please subscribe to T. T is down there in Australia. She does whatever she can. She goes out of her way to travel to the organizations, right? Love that she is such. She's trying to help us prevent Scientology from spreading down there in Perth, Australia. I will say, when I was in South Africa, I was closer to her time zone. Oh, this is awesome. So here we're seeing a little barge. It's a construction barge that's helping probably rebuild that bridge underneath. That's the not Wells Street. It might be Franklin, the Franklin Bridge. Behind me, so this is the Merchandise Mart. If you look there, the Merchandise Mart was the crown jewel of the Kennedy Empire. So the Kennedys, JFK, and his father and family bought this building many years ago, and it was one of their incredible revenue generators. Mama, I have bad news for you. I'm gonna make you do the fuzzy work right now. As I mention these channel names, yes, you have to look up those channel names and help our audience understand what's going on there. Howdy, Irish Mart. This, folks, we're looking down the Chicago River towards the mouth of Lake Michigan. Now, it bends right there at the edge of it, but boy, I'm going to miss these views. The idea that you've got all these high rises and all of these large buildings, and many of these are residential. I'm going to miss protecting Chicago from Scientology. And did I protect Chicago? Hey, that's for you to decide. But I tried my best to make sure that I was helping educate. Oh, it's awesome. We're seeing snow come down now. You probably can't see on the camera, but I tried my best to educate the people here around Chicago. So, T, I will still be here in Chicago. I will tell you that the next place that I live, we won't be near Scientology, but I'll be close enough to travel over to Clearwater. So that probably tells you what state I'm going to be in. I don't know if you can see this. Oh, it's beautiful right now, folks. You may or may not be able to see. I don't know if the camera's showing you, but it's snow slash sleet coming down. It's probably right at freezing right now. We're right now in front of the Merchandise Mart, and I'm looking at Wolf Point. So these are all new residences. Let's see here. That I'll be a couple hours away from a place where Class 12 organizations exist in Florida. Hopefully that gave you guys an awful lot of information regarding that. And I'm gonna travel over there, you know. Maybe I'll go have a beer with our friend ASL. I'll go see Lori Plays. George, what's George? Growing up near Scientology or growing up around Scientology? Darn it, I can't remember George's channel. Farrell Cheryl. But I'll go and try and challenge Scientology's ability over there. Surrounded, thank you. Surrounded by Scientology, George. By the way, George, sorry, I need to tie my shoe, so I'm going to put you down in a, let's see here. So you're looking at Scientology. I have to retie my shoe. Sorry, folks. All right, I'm back. I don't know if you can hear me, but we're looking at the Merchandise Mart. We're on Orleans. Mama Opal, thank you so much for being in here and helping out. Yes, this was impromptu. Hopefully, again, I am so going to miss Chicago. I did feel like a protector of, but I feel confident that I'm handing it off to some great people. We've got Corn Freak, we've got Never and Nana, we've got Heligear. Nance Drew is finally through her legal issues. Behind me, you're seeing the Merchandise Mart right now. I feel so bad because I'm making Mama Opal do such hard work right now. She's got to look up all these channels, but you've got Never and Nana, Heligear. You know, somebody I'd like to shout out because again, they just came from so far away to make sure that Chicago never got footing. Was Friezino Project. You know, I miss Jay. Friezino was just an awesome guy. You know, Corn Freak doesn't live here. Dip Me in Glitter doesn't live here. Sorry, I've got strangely, this light is a stoplight right now, or the stop sign right now. I feel like I'm blending the Windy Wanders the City as well as the Windy City Thetan Watch. Corn Freak traveled to get here. Corn Freak doesn't live here. Dipping Glitter doesn't live here. So the idea that they took these hours-long trips to get here to Chicago, and they would plant themselves in front of the organization and just show the people inside that, you know what, come outside, we're having fun. We enjoy ourselves. Our life is grand. And they would just come here and be present. If you're watching this on a replay, or if you're seeing this in the future, folks, come out and protest Scientology or demonstrate against Scientology. They're a destructive cult that, they separate families. They're involved in child abuse, in human trafficking. Many of the people that you'll see here in Chicago as a staff member have a foreign accent, which likely they've got a passport that is held by Scientology. They speak in a foreign accent. They're uninformed about what's going on here. They are tricked or traitored into working for Scientology. Howdy, Irish Mart. And thank you for being there last night. And we had the little live back in the home studio. Irish Mart, I appreciate you being there. So, Mama Opal, I'll try to help you, but again, I'm the stupid guy on the street right now. We may or may not hear or see the right teams, or people, but you've got Never Nana, Corn Freak, Freeze the Unit Project. And again, Freeze the Unit Project was one of those people that, just like Corn Freak and just like Dipping Glitter, they traveled to get here, right? They took on a burden to come and protest Scientology here in Chicago. Juanita Style Audit 1A. Hitzel, that's just disgusting, right? The idea that there are these people, these kids that are being told that normalcy is Scientology. I hope that if you've watched the channel, you would have seen that we have so often seen children being brought into this organization. Guy ahead of me was just being very vocal with his muffler. On Friday, when I was out there with Never and Nana, we saw two people approach the org, and the female kind of did the show of, oh, look, Scientology, what a glorious place. And she walked in with a gentleman, and the gentleman is the guy who we always saw brought his kids to Scientology on a Saturday and kind of just dropped them off. So, yeah, we're early in Chicago. Folks, I celebrated New Year's last night with my friends. Last time in a while that I could see my friends as it was important to me that I was able to be with my friends. For the last 10 years, we've been together celebrating New Year's Eve. But as I was saying, these, you would have seen on Friday, there was a female and a male that came into the org. I don't know their names, but on Saturdays when we would be there, the male would walk his children to the door and kind of dump them into the org. And the idea of, oh, there's no children in Scientology, children are safe from Scientology. It's bullshit, right? There are so many children which, whether or not they're auditing, they're being groomed to be Scientologists. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at T, and T's kind of telling me that I might not be on sptv.space anymore. And something, sorry folks, I'm gonna put gloves on real quick. Something tells me that something's going on between Allie and darn it, is it Squirrel, UK Squirrel, that it's possible that SPTV Space is going through some challenges, but I'm sad that I'm not on there anymore. Hopefully you're seeing me there. Thank you, T. Thank you, Joe Buchanan. Folks, if you're not, please get over and subscribe to Joe Buchanan. Joe Buchanan is probably going to be one of the people that's where the next ideal org is going to pop up. Who knows how quickly. We do know that Joe Sakala, who is the father of the executive director here in Chicago, and he owns a venture capital firm called Dream Exchange. He's what's called a civilization builder by Scientology. So the idea that he's a great fundraiser for Scientology. And he has kind of been charged with getting Battle Creek up and running. And Joe Buchanan is one of those people that is consistently in front of Battle Creek, Michigan. Now, again, they bought an old building and they're trying to renovate it. They're sucking at it. I think that if you watched Joe, you would have seen that. Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. Darn it, what is I think that Mama Opal helped you out already. She already gave you the Battle Creek link so that you can go over there. And folks, subscribe to all the anti-Scientologists, right? That myself, because my partner has a new job elsewhere, I'm going to go move with her. There's going to be people that can no longer protest Scientology where they're at. We don't see Trashy anymore. There's been probably hundreds of people, right? We don't see Scientology. We don't see Seth the Writer. Just life happens, and some of these people won't be able to protest or demonstrate in front of an organization anymore. So subscribe to as many as you can. Let's get everybody monetized. Bobby Joe Kellogg, thank you so much, Mama Opal. You're becoming my new Fuzzy. Fuzzy was always my fact checker. Right? The idea that I would say, hey, blah, 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 and Fuzzy would help you understand that Paul's an idiot and he didn't say the right thing. Howdy, Carrie. Howdy, Mike. Folks, I'll do a little bit of a spin around here. I'm going to miss Chicago. This urban setting was so, with the exception of 1 year of my life, I've never lived more than 35 miles away from Chicago's city center. You know, I grew up in the suburbs. I was always down here. I enjoyed it. Xenofree, you're absolutely correct. And again, Mama Opal, thank you so much for being here. Fuzzy has been my absolute biggest supporter. You know, I mentioned this last night that, you know, yes, Ellie was a moderator for me. She is a moderator for me. I don't care how many people I lose. Ellie was a good console for me. And I just really appreciate how much the moderators don't get anything, right? They're here to help us. If you know, Mama Opal is a moderator for Natalie. You know, with the exception of the mega channels, moderators don't make anything. They just do this because they love the channels, right? My moderators have always been people who have been people that, you know, they connected with our channel, and I appreciate that. Yes, I agree. Allie and Mike are awesome. I was able to meet Allie when we went to the My Tony Memorial, and Allie and we spent some time together. We both have an IT background. It was fun to chat. Very enjoyable. Yeah. So, hey Dusty, how you doing? Mom Opal is, well, I did meet her at the My Tony Memorial. We had a great time together. I enjoyed spending time with her. She's, you saw earlier, right? Nance Drew, several others. I just love how this community genuinely tries to help one another. And yeah, I understand that we have these stupid fights, and I wish they didn't occur, and, you know, I hated the mod wars. I was able to talk to DOA, and maybe I talked sense into him, maybe I didn't. But we had a conversation. I'll say that he's become more moderate since then. I appreciate that. Sorry if you're getting a lot of wind. I live in the Windy City. The name of the channel, Windy City Thetan Watch. But we've got a little wind coming on here. Yeah, I'm gonna say I see the comment that Carrie, right? You know, Mama and Fuzzy are great. J-Bat. I've had so many great moderators, and all of them have tried to help me understand how YouTube works, have tried to help. Boy, I'm sorry if you're hearing this wind. I'm hearing the wind in my head, and it's tough. Hitzel, I won't. I think I'm going to stay with the same Windy City Thetan Watch. Yeah, I won't be here, but I'm a Windy City guy. Right now we're on Milwaukee Avenue. We're heading northwest. Leaving the
city. So now, for the most part, most of the buildings we'll see are three stories tall. Every once in a while you'll see a high rise, but for the most part, it's 3 flats. The reason that Chicago has so many 3-story buildings is that the fire trucks only had ladders that would reach 3 stories tall. So fire code is really what stops most of these buildings from being taller. Yeah, JBAT, awesome. JBAT is artistically inclined. You probably heard me yesterday say this, but when I was finally able to monetize at the 500 subscriber level, JBAT was the first person that saw us do a super chat, and she did. Yeah, Joe. I had my New Year's Eve costume or suit ready, and we celebrated last night. I really enjoyed being with friends, and that's something that I always struggle with Scientologists. That do you have these friends that you seek out, right? That you've got to go spend time with these friends, and it's sad that I think that most Scientologists don't get to do that. Dusty, have a good night. Great to see you. DTS, great to see you as well. I like the word trouble sources for Scientology, right? The idea that Scientology knows that there are people challenging them and that they don't have this free ride anymore. And we're not the first. So, right, I really started understanding the crimes and abuses of Scientology with Aaron's channel. But then, a year ago, basically, we saw the Twitter accounts with Jessica Balmadessa, William Good, Film of Police LA, but I can't remember what, is it? I can't remember Film of Police's Scientology channel. You all are probably already subscribed there. He's a big dog. And I don't need to be promoting him. He does pretty well on his own. Hey, Dusty, get off here. Go to bed. Although the sun's coming up, if the sun's coming up here, I imagine the sun's coming up where you're at. That'll be interesting when I'll be an East Coast guy in about a month. So we'll see how that works out. Folks, hopefully you're seeing behind me, right, that the sun's starting to come up here in Chicago. You're probably seeing a lot of 3 flats. This one, though, is a high rise. We're now coming up Chicago Avenue. It's the wind is out of the north. If you're in Chicago and the wind is out of the north, it's cold. Sorry, let me take the gloves off for a second. Yeah, so Hitzel down in Austin, Texas, a fair bit amount south of us. You probably get the sun a little bit earlier than us. Mama Opal, I forget where you're from. Are you in the snow belt or are you further south? Yeah. Folks, you should all, I don't know, what do? We clap? We send a coffee to Mama Opal. When I was up at Natalie's memorial for My Tony, and by the way, I love that I was able to meet My Tony, but Natalie was up there and she was just a helper. I'm sorry, Mama Opal was up there and she was just a helper. That, Natalie, what do you need? And Mama Opal just stood up, said, I'll do it, right? Thank you so much. You really eased the burden for her when she was up there. How you doing, Papa? Yeah, New England is a little bit east of here. As many of you know, I spent a little time in South Africa this past month. So they're 8 hours past New Year. Well, wait, we're 8 hours. They're half a day past New Year's at this point. Another thing I remember about the My Tony Memorial is that Mama Opal had Nancy Alley's picture, and basically every time there was a photo opportunity, Mama Opal would pull out basically a headshot, an 8x10 photo of Nancy Alley, and so Nancy Alley was with us the whole time as well. That was fun. We had so many photos where there would be a headshot of Nancy Alley with us. So, and again, I'm not going to speak for other channels, but moderators do this out of the love of their heart, right? The idea that I want to help these creators who are trying to challenge and thwart Scientology's efforts across the states, across the world, across the globe. And these channels don't work without moderators. Papa, I'm doing great. Had an awesome evening with a lot of friends. I don't want to expose them to the channel. If you see, I think I posted overnight the beautiful shot of the fireworks over the Chicago River. We had a great view of that from where we celebrated New Year's. Sorry, I'm going to stop for a second. I'm going to read Mama's chat. Y- Yeah, Mama Opal is making a great point there. That being a moderator it's a challenge, right? It's a burden, and I'm going to tell you that I so appreciate that. I've told you all that Ellie was my moderator. Ellie is my moderator. Ellie will never lose her wrench on my channel, and if you don't like me, because we're hearing the subway going underneath us. If you don't like me because Ellie was a moderator, well, I'm sorry. But when the mod wars occurred and Ellie was kind of run underground, Mama Opal, Nancy both stood up and said, they raised their hand and said, I want to help you, Paul. And I appreciate that so much. That these channels don't exist without moderators, and I know that some channels go moderatorless, but it's important to us, right? The idea that was it yesterday? No, I guess it's 2 days ago now. When I'm having a conversation with somebody on the street, I can't pay attention to chat, and the moderators make sure that nothing silly goes on while I'm trying to connect with people on the street. So it's important that moderators stand up, raise their hand, say, I'd love to help you. I'm going to ask you as a creator to say, hey, those people that are in your chat a lot and who are affirming what you're saying, what you're doing, think about those people as moderators. I've been very, very fortunate, and hopefully you heard it last night when I did the live there, but my channel's been mostly drama-free, right? There have been a couple of people, and unfortunately, I interacted with one of the people that didn't really, they're banned from my channel, and it's mostly because they got hurt. I don't think I hurt them. I know I didn't hurt them intentionally. They got hurt, and they just wanted to create drama and distractions in the channel. And that's not what my goal is, to make it hard for Scientology to grow. I don't care about the drama between channels, right? Or between creators. It's kind of gray out here this morning. Hopefully you're hearing me. I'm over the highway right now. So we're on Michigan Avenue, or I'm sorry, Milwaukee, heading north. Howdy, Fat Grammy. There are some people that I hope the whole anti-Scientology community understands that there's a group of people that work mostly behind the scenes. Yes, they do have channels, but Audit LA, Fat Grammy, and there's several others that do whatever they can to make sure that they're in front of city councils, that they're in front of the places where politicians and the public are there, and they're raising their hand saying, I don't like Scientology, right? Here's what Scientology is doing to corrode your city, corrode your neighborhood. So kudos to those people. And I like the actual channel name Scientology Crimes. Many of you have probably heard me say that, I don't really care about the philosophy, the beliefs, the religion of Scientology. I care about the crimes and abuses of Scientology. Yeah, Papa, you're probably correct, but if you don't stand up and say something, then nobody hears it. And I do appreciate that we're able to make politicians look bad in front of their public if they want to stand behind Scientology. Yeah, Rachel, you're bang on. And by the way, I don't mean to say that person A is better than person B. I've been so appreciative of the consistency of the audience that watches my channel. And I'm sorry that I'm putting you through this stupid, hey, walk with Paul as he goes home from New Year's Eve. But, folks, it takes something to stand up against Scientology. I love that I've got an audience, and I love that, Aaron has 250, and there's so many channels that have 20,000, and, right, I think that Tori's at 25,000. I love that there's people that watch this, but the idea that there's people that stand up and say, I don't want to tolerate this any longer, is just amazing. And listen, I'm not trying to throw shade at people that don't protest. The idea that if you support a protester, you're protesting, right? You're helping us understand that you're validating our work, right? Papa, I'm trying to get undrunk right now. So here we're at Noble Square, excuse me. So the building behind me is a private high school. This is Noble Square. Howdy, Haggis. Yeah, style out of your bang on, right? Without watchers, there's no reason to have a channel. And, my channel isn't big by any means. I'm one of the smallest. I'm small here in Chicago. I'm small across the anti-Scientology landscape. But I just wanted to raise my hand and say, I'm against what Scientology does. Helly, I don't know if I'm on the walk of shame or if Papa's on the walk of shame, but we're shameful. I see the viewers keep us company, and yes, they do. But one of the things that I always found so helpful is that when I would make a mistake or I would say something incorrect, always one of the viewers would say, no, it's X or it's Y, or the thing you're thinking about is this, not that. I'll go ahead and cross the street real quick. Viewership is what makes YouTube work. At the end of the day, we're a stupid TV show that you've decided to watch or not watch. By the way, I saw Helly's statement there. I enjoy beer. I really like beer. But my partner and I have decided we're going to do a sober January. So, which, the way that I've explained to her that we're probably doing a mostly sober January because we did drink post midnight last night, whether it was champagne or otherwise. Papa, you know what? I didn't watch Dexter once Lithgow came on. I love Lithgow. I thought Dexter was an amazing show. Not a big fan of serial killers, whether or not you're doing it ethically or not. Serial killing is probably bad. Hey, folks, join in with Haggis Basher. Let's get a round of applause for Mama Opal. And again, my moderators have been amazing. That the idea that I can concentrate on what I'm doing here on the street, folks, I'm not concentrating on the street right now, but Monday, when I had those engagements with people on the street, I want to connect with those people on the street, and the moderators help make sure that I can do what I need to do on the street, and that the chat doesn't go crazy. Ooh. We have a nice wind coming on here. Lady E, what time is it by you? Lady E is, I think, 8 time zones away from me here in Chicago. She might be midday by now. Oh, I'm walking over. So this is a vent from the subways of Chicago. The Blue Line runs underground here, and there's heat coming out of these vents right now. So it was very comfortable walking past there. Folks, if you're not subscribed to Helly, make sure you do. Not sure Helly is monetized yet, but Helly travels. Like we saw her on her train ride through New York and the East Coast. I think she spent a lot of the last couple of weeks in Wisconsin, but she gets to show you a lot of the Midwest while she's there. I love this kind of civilian artwork that's here. We're right now at Division and Milwaukee, Division, Milwaukee, and Ashland. Lady E, are you up by Pretoria, Joburg? Or are you South Coast? Are you Bloemfontein? Where are you at? If you care to share. And Helly is a singer, vocal artist. So sometimes we get to see Helly at other concert venues, and other times we get to see Helly being the concert venue. So Lady E is Joburg, Johannesburg. Johannesburg and Pretoria are fairly close to one another. South Africa is interesting because where in the United States, all of the federal government is concentrated in New York. That doesn't happen in South Africa. That the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch are actually in different cities across South Africa. Yesterday, sorry. Yesterday I edited a film, and I'm going to show you some of the animals of South Africa. So you'll see some impalas, and the place where I went, they actually have black impalas, which is a genetic defect. But the black impala looks pretty impressive. You'll see some rhinoceros, you'll see some elephants and some giraffes. I'll try to post that tomorrow, or I guess today. Howdy, Mary James. Oh wait, now I gotta figure out why we're jealous of Hagabet. Morning Prosecco, nice. Last night, our host, if you honey the rim, honey is going to be a sticky solution. If you honey the rim of a champagne flute and then put some glitter on it, it looks interesting. By the way, it does not make the champagne taste any better. So it's cool and neat, but it's not the most amazing thing for tasting champagne. But we had very, very decorative glasses. Howdy, Corn. Great to see you. Oh, lavender. Wait, I just spoke about honey. Lavender Bridges. Lavender was so generous this past year. She has, I guess she's a beekeeper, but she cultivates honey, and she was so generous and sent us some money. Several times this summer, I've had toast with honey on it. Thank you so much, Lavender. "19 hives, that's amazing." Not sure if you're not all subscribers to Winnie Wanders the City. One of the days I showed you the largest rooftop urban park in America. And up there, they've got beehives as well. Not sure if I've shown this or not, but there's also the same company that does the beehives on top of the old post office in Chicago, does several other beehives around the city of Chicago. And I think I've shown you some of the other beehives that I spotted. Yeah, Lavender, it's really an amazing place. So there's about a quarter-mile walking path up there. There's a basketball court up there. There are a couple of pickleball courts up there. So it's pretty amazing. Mama Opal, I thank you so much for helping out. I always feel bad when I make fuzzy pink handcuffs. Look up all the channels, but you've been doing a great job. Thank you so much. Papa, there shall be no sitting. I'm a wanderer. And I will tell you that once I get home this morning, I'm probably going to go ahead and go out for a run. Lavender, that's awesome that you're so close to retirement. And by the way, if you have bees, do you retire or do you just stop? I can't imagine you stop being a beekeeper. Yes, I will say that Papa has been a friend to so many of these channels, and I'll say in Chicago specifically, I don't, I think that he's been a participant in so many chats, but he's consistently been in many of these Chicago channels. So thank you, Papa. Mama, 100%. You do the work, you get the benefit. So let us know how we can support you. And thank you for supporting us. I will definitely tell you that as I'm walking more north, it's getting chilly out here. I think it's cool when I think that Marilyn Honig kind of came on the scene as the crochet person, but I think there's several crocheters that kind of follow her. My partner has recently gotten into paint by number. So we have probably 10 canvases laying around the house of her recent art. Wait, Mama Opal's Japanese. Or wait, is it Chinese or Japanese? It's origami. Wait, what's a diamond artist? They use diamonds to create art, or their art is creating diamonds? Howdy, Never in Nana. Okay, folks, educate me. What's diamond art? One of the things my partner did was there's these things where you put jewels on. There's a stickiness to the back of a jewel that you put on a medium, and then you create the art. So there's colored jewels or gems on that. Wait, if Nancy's doing one big one a week, she's got too much time. She should be doing much more moderating. Don't get me in trouble, Mama, please. I'm actually afraid of Nance. Nancy was military, so Nancy could tear me up in a heartbeat if she wanted to, I think. You know, that's a great question, Lady E. That it's interesting. When my partner started doing this gemmed element, there's a stickiness to the end of a pen, and they pick up a jewel, and then they put the jewel on the medium or media. Sorry. But I think that's different. Like Bedazzle, I think there's two parts to that. That there's a back, like you push a gem into something through cloth. Howdy, Rika. So here is our local TARDIS, and if you're a Doctor Who fan, you understand that. But this is a kind of an English pub here in Bucktown, Chicago. Lavender, that's awesome. The idea that you were able to submit your art so that it can be seen or be useful to others. Mama Opal, that's my partner created 6 or 8 coasters out of those jewel type things. I didn't know it was called diamond art. And it's one of those things that it causes you to be patient and do some meticulous work. So it's one of those. She loves it because it slows her down. And I think that's why she's doing the paint by number, is that it causes her to stop and slow down and pay attention. Never in, I'm with you. I need to be moving. I don't like stationary stuff. Folks, I'm about to cross the street, and we're gonna see, there's a new Barnes and Noble here in Bucktown, Chicago, and it used to be an old bank building, but it is such an amazing place to be inside. On Windy Wanderers, I'm going to do an episode on this. I don't know if you'll be able to see inside here or not, but we'll give it a shot. So, let's see what we got here. I think you're getting too much glare, but this is the Barnes and Nobles at Damon in Milwaukee, here in Chicago. If we look out here, this used to be a bank. When we first came to this neighborhood, this was like a CVS or a Walgreens, I can't remember which one. Yeah, there's times where I want to go in there and I want to say, you know what, give me a coffee, let me get on the computer, and let me steal your Wi-Fi, and let me drink in the library. This is another one I want to do on the Winnie Wanders channel. So Mindy's Bakery here. If you come here on a Saturday, the line outside of this place is just massive. So you'll see people lined up 2-3 doors down to be here. Yeah, and I like, so if you know the Amazon story, Amazon really had the goal of putting bookstores out of business. They started out as a bookseller, right? And he just wanted to put bookstores out of business. I don't know why that was his desire, but he wanted to. And then came all of the books and everything else under the sun that you would buy from Amazon. And now Amazon is starting to put bookstores back up, or brick and mortar bookstores back up. But great to see Barnes & Noble kind of regaining their footing. Hopefully you've enjoyed the background in this. I haven't been paying too much attention to it. I've just been chatting to my phone. But you should have seen many of the buildings along Milwaukee Avenue. I agree with that to walk into a bookstore and to see a book that you could just learn stuff on. And the internet became the electronic bookstore, but that idea that maybe I don't need to go to college. Maybe if I applied myself and just read the book, I can figure out how to do things. Howdy, Juanita. Juanita, another great Chicago demonstrator, protester, auditor. And like Nance Drew, bilingual. So always very impressed by the fact that they can help the people that I can't speak to. All right, folks, we're getting pretty close to home. I'm going to show you the Bucktown Public Library, and I think we'll go ahead and end this as I head over to the house. Juanita's amazing. So Juanita, Korn, Never In, right? The backbone, Heli Gear, the backbone of Chicago protesting. But here we are in front of the Bucktown Library. Thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Mama Opal, thank you for jumping in, helping out. New name, I'd love to get to Switzerland someday. All right, I count myself too. Thanks, Korn. Folks, really appreciate you all joining the walk with me. Have a great day. Happy New Year's. Have a great 2025, and let's thwart Scientology this year. All right. With that in mind, thank you so much. I'm going to take off.